What's up, Magical Family Gang? First and foremost, thank you so much for joining the Patreon where we're going to get down to business. You already know YouTube is just not the platform for a lot of things that we want to discuss. So I just want to really thank y'all for really rocking with me for real. And just trusting me with these readings and to give you guys the divine messages that you guys are seeking and looking for. So this reading will be about Whitney Houston, right? We already know her life has been in the tabloids basically ever since she became famous and became what they call a celebrity. So I know that especially around her whole life has been a mystery, really, especially the events that, occurred around the time of her demise, the time of her death. So what I'm hoping for us is so we can get some spiritual insight into the truth, the tea. Y'all already know when I say the tea, I'm talking about truth, right? So look, the energy's strong. My car is already jumping out the deck. So I'm not gonna waste y'all time. Y'all want to be here. Y'all wanted some answers, so I got y'all. So let's get into this. Whitney Houston, Whitney Houston, Whitney Houston, Whitney Elizabeth Houston, Whitney Elizabeth Houston, Whitney Elizabeth Houston, born August 9th, 1963. So yeah, oh my gosh, her energy is here, is strong. It's just, her life has been such, just tabloided out, paparazzi out, from her beef with Wendy Williams, I'm even thinking about that interview that she had with, what's her name? Diane Sawyer, and the thing when she said crack was whack, so, her life has been one big skeptical, especially with that girl, her best friend. I can't even think of her name, but they were even accusing her of having a lesbian relationship with her. So yeah, y'all, let's get into this. So y'all, first question was, who introduced Whitney to drugs? Now, I know that it's been, said by her own brother that he introduced her to drugs way before she even met Bobby Brown and married him. So we're just going to confirm that. Did her brother really introduce her to drugs? Did Whitney Houston's brother, I think his name was Michael Houston, did Michael Houston really introduce Whitney to drugs? He said they did everything together. So did he do that? Whitney Houston, Whitney Houston, Whitney Houston. Spirit, show us the truth. Spirit, did Michael Houston really introduce Whitney Houston to drugs? Did he do that? Ten of Swords. Yep. See how this hand is like reaching out, like it looks like it could have been smoke in the air, and he's like reaching out for opportunity, but it's reversed. So this is showing that this was not a good opportunity. This is opportunity that brought destruction to her life, to the rest of her life. And Ten of Swords, this just represents someone. To me, she just kind of looked like, like after you hit the drugs, you laid out on the ground, you kind of like in a vibey type of state. So I feel like this is what happened to her once he handed her over them drugs. And it was a painful journey ever since then. You see, there is two people here, and they are moving on to another territory. And usually it's a painful situation. It's a painful reason, a painful situation that happened, which caused them to move away. And you see what happened. It caused turmoil and stress. It tormented her for the rest of her life. From that hit, she chased that high, that first, they say the rest of your life, you're chasing that first high. When it comes to addiction, you would never get as good as that first high. The first high that you ever felt is like euphoria, so it just caused turmoil and torture in her life the entire time. Yeah, King of Swords. So we have a male here, possibly in his sword, so it's reversed also. So this is someone, who could have just been not speaking life into her, speaking things that, mentally, obviously messed her up by asking her to hit that drug. And then we have the Judgment here. So I'm just seeing all this smoke. This is what I want you guys to see. Like, look at all of this smoke. Then we got Judgment. So we know that she was in the church. To me, that just came to my mind. So, she was in a lot of mental torture. She was so torn between reality, morals, principles, what she was taught growing up, and things of that nature. See, Five of Cups, just a lot of past sorrow, a lot of past regrets, things that she wished that she had never done. This is reversed. So this is telling me she wanted to really move away from that. you know, and it caused a lot of conflicts in her life between her and a lot of people doing that. And then we have the Queen of Wands reversed here. So to me, that just speaks that, you know, it affected her creativity. It affected her passion. It affected her confidence in who she was. The Ace of Wands. So this is what I mean. She was handed this opportunity from someone else. She didn't go seeking out this by herself. Someone passed her over those drugs. We study seeing these clouds, and it manifested into just a beast in her life. It took a life of its own. We got Page of Pentacles. So this is just representing to me just a new opportunity for something. And to me, since we're asking about drugs, this is what it was. So yeah, I feel like her brother was telling the truth, you know, based on what he said and based on what just came out in the cards. Because, you know, sometimes people just try to take the heat from for other people. So it was good that we confirmed that. So let's keep going. So you wanted to know, you guys also wanted to know, did Bobby influence Whitney's life? Did Bobby influence Whitney's life at all when it came to drugs? You know, he came out, he said, look, I ain't know nothing about none of that crack, none of them hardcore drugs. I was just a kid from the projects, and I was smoking weed and I was drinking. You know, she introduced me to that. You know, he said that really messed him up for a long time, because for years, everyone would blame him as the bad boy. You know, and he was like, little did y'all know, it was really her. I just wanted to protect her, you know, and her reputation. So did Bobby influence Whitney's life at all when it came to drugs? And I remember he even left her and went to Hollywood. I mean, I'm sorry, Hollywood. Lord, that Hollywood, right? He even left her and went to rehab, you know, because he was tired. So these are the cards that just flipped out. So this is representing the marriage, the home. This is Bobby and Whitney. We already know 4 of Wands represents marriage. Here's the Tower card. So we already know it was a tumultuous relationship between them. A lot of life-changing, destructive activities happened between the two of them. You know, a lot of missed opportunities too. We got the Ace of Wands. So this also represents to me just passion that is just out of control. Yeah, just out of control passion and lust. And, you know, you look at all that smoke. You already know it was a good time. Then we have the King of Wands here. Just lots of out of control, fiery passion. And not to mention that Miss Whitney is a Leo. So we got all this fire here. 3 of Cups. So it was just a lot of cheating involved too. A lot of different women, a lot of drinking, a lot of partying. Then we got the Sun. So we know they had Bobby, Christina, the child. But this is also, so that brought happiness into this situation. But we cannot turn a blind eye, guys, to the red flag. We already know. We already know when we see that red flag what that means. So 7 of Swords. So, you know, he wasn't the faithfulest in her situation. So, you know, by way of them both doing drugs together, a lot of cheating, you know, I feel like that relationship in a whole influenced, you know, Whitney Houston's life. Not just Bobby, but just their whole situation in its entirety. I hope that makes sense. You know, so Ace of Cups. So she got some fulfillment out of being with him. He was a bad boy. She was a church girl. Although she wasn't completely innocent, she still yearned that street stuff. Because, you know when you're the pastor's child and you grow up in a church, you just like that taboo, forbidden feeling of hanging out in the streets. So he brought her satisfaction with that. Queen of Swords. So I feel like this Queen of Swords that's coming through was probably the mother, Sissy Houston. I feel like she talked a lot of shit about Bobby Brown, honestly. There's that 5 of Cups. So just a lot of regrets and past term regrets, long-term regrets, things that happened, things that she wished that would have never happened between herself and her husband, you know, Bobby Brown. So there's a lot of past hurt between their energy. 4 of Pentacles, just not standing on boundaries, not standing on values, just being too loose, you know, with the things that she had worked so hard for. So he brought her some fulfillment for sure with this 9 of Cups. It was fun, it was risky, you know, it was reckless, you know, all those things that bring, you know, just incitement into a relationship. But unfortunately, it was the cause of the demise of their marriage and somewhat of Whitney Houston's, you know, life. So yes, he did have his influences for sure, but I don't believe that he was the influence that everybody thought him to be. You know, Whitney, she was the golden girl back then. They would not believe, they refused to believe that Whitney Houston, you know, would ever want to do drugs. You know, no, not her. Someone has to just, you know, trick her into doing it. So, unfortunately, you know, Bobby took a lot of that, you know, took a lot of that slack for her. So, you guys, y'all want to go straight into it. What caused her death? You know, it's so much speculation around that situation. You know, her drowning, her hitting her head. They said she was high. Then they said that there was just water running over into the tub. So let's just pick on the energy around that night to see what comes up. Spirit, what caused Whitney Houston's death? What was the cause that night in that hotel room above that party? Because remember, I think there was a Grammy Award party that Clive Davis was having. And she was up there in that room. And they continued to party after they had learned at what had happened to Whitney Houston. Mind you, that Whitney Houston and Clive Davis were like this. He was actually the godfather of Bobby Christina. Show us the energy around that night, Spirit. What happened to her that night? Show us what happened to her that night when she passed. Whitney Houston, Spirit. Show us the truth. What happened to her that night? What happened? What happened, Spirit? What happened to her that night? Judgment. So we know she passed away. It was a higher calling. It was a spiritual situation. I see an angel in the clouds. I see people. So this it's so amazing, right? How Whitney was at the top, one of the top floor suites of that hotel, and there was a party in the same hotel. I'm guessing maybe on the first floor. So it just shows Whitney at the top and all those people partying at the bottom. I want y'all to pay attention to this. This is just talking about divine timing, but a misfortunate divine timing. Do you understand what I'm saying? There's more clouds. So this was a spiritual situation. This was destiny. This was destined, but it was just a really, really unfortunate situation in the way that it happened. Eight of Pentacles, she was very tired of working. She was very tired that night. She was so tired. Queen of Pentacles, but she knows she's Whitney. She knew the pressures of being Whitney. She knew the rumors of being Whitney. You know, it was just so hard for her. I feel her being so tired that day. She was extremely tired. The High Priestess. So I feel like this is reversed. So we already know that this High Priestess is about spirituality. It's about the occult. It's about, you know, hidden knowledge, mysteries, and the unknown. So I feel like this was spiritual, and it had to do with the higher ups in Hollywood with that Higher Priestess card. A lot of very reckless activity happened in that room that night, that day. A lot of foul shit happened with this Fool reverse. We already know the Fool brings destruction when it's reversed. It brings recklessness. It brings harm to other people. It puts you in detriment. It can even cause death. So I feel like this is what the Fool is representing. Knight of Pentacles reverse. So I feel like someone slowly set her up for this situation at night. You know, the Pentacles is someone, the Knight is someone who brings you something. Is that someone gave her something, you know, and they had been slowly planning this. You know, the Pentacles is a slow energy. It's about long-term planning. So someone handed her something that night. The Hermit. Someone sees this occult looking thing, this cloak, this attire that this person has on with that enlightenment sign, that pentacle, watching you. So this is representing the person that did it, that was hidden, that were in the dark. See all this hidden energy? We got the Hermit, we got the High Priestess. All of that is mysterious, hidden, in the dark energy. So someone was lurking on her. Someone was calculating her moves. You know, they knew that she was very tired that night. They knew that, you know, this is Queen of Pentacles. We know that this is representing, we already know that this is representing Whitney Houston. We already know that rabbit, I believe they said that that's a symbol that has to do with the Illuminati. So I'm going to let you guys put that together. But they knew it was someone that handed her something. And they definitely planned it. But what they planned, what they gave, see, this is a giving energy. The Six of Pentacles. But when it's the reverse, it's a giving for selfish gain. I give you something, but it's really something that's going to help me out. So I'm not giving this to you from the heart. I'm giving this to you for your demise. So Six of Pentacles just represents to me what the Knight of Pentacles talks about. Someone giving her something that unfortunately caused, you know, her to pass away. Knight of Swords. So yeah, it was somebody that was thinking very quickly. who was not emotional at all. They were a very cold person that did that to her, which obviously they had to be, you know. So let's keep going, guys. So the next question was, why did she only have one child? Well, we already know, did she have health problems too? That was a part of the question. So we already know that she has suffered from a miscarriage before she successfully conceived Bobbi Kristina. So, I mean, I believe they showed that on her documentary about her and her life. I think she had a Lifetime special that they showed her really, really broken up and sad about losing that child. So why did she only have one child, Spirit? Did she really only want to have one child after Bobbi Kristina? Was that her true feelings? She might have been scared. She probably was thinking like, okay, this is my miracle, my rainbow baby. I don't even want to put myself in that situation, you know, to be disappointed and heartbroken like that again. So, Spirit, what was the issue around her only having one child? Was there even an issue? Was she truly satisfied with having one child? Show us, Spirit. Oh, see, this is showing her. She was so broken when she lost that miscarriage. She was so sad. Whitney Houston, she went through a lot of depression, guys. She went through a lot of depression, and I'm pretty sure that stress affected her health. I see water, so to me, that represents utility. You know, we have water. I'm sorry, utility. That represents fertility. You know, we have water in our rooms. We are birthed in water, you know. So she had a lot of sadness regarding, you know, losing that child. And then I feel like there's a Page of Swords. So I also feel like that she might have also, Pages represents children too. So let's keep that in mind. So this is represent children and it's reversed. She might have also had people in her mind just keeping her in a stressful situation. I feel like Whitney Houston had a lot of people around her that lurked around her that could not be trusted, that stabbed her in the back a lot. You see that knife? So I feel like, you know, the words of other people also kept her into a mental distress state. And then we have the Judgment card. You know, so she judged herself harshly when she lost that baby. You know, when women lose babies, sometimes, and this happened to me before, sometimes we feel like, damn, we can't hold a baby. What's wrong with my body? What's wrong with my body? So this page is coming through to me just representing the children, just representing that one child that she had. And then the Emperor reverse. So she just felt like she was she didn't feel in control of her own body a lot. Even when it came to the addiction, she just felt really out of control. She didn't feel dependable, and I'm hearing unworthy coming to my mind. She really did feel unworthy. Even though she had it all to the world's point of view, she felt unworthy for a lot of the things that were given to her. And see, yeah, it's just, to me, when I see this, it was just divine. It was, first of all, it was fate for her to only have that one child. It was divine timing, so it's bigger than her. But since it's reversed, it just represents to me that's the misfortune, you know, and the loss of losing that first child. You know, because Bobbi Kristina was not her first pregnancy, you know. So she was actually, I believe, a rainbow baby. So to me, this is just speaking on she was stressed. She was stressed. She didn't think she was worthy. She judged herself. Oh, she judged herself so harshly. And the Knight of Pentacles, so she just felt like with this Knight of Pentacles, I see her trying and trying and trying, but you know, it just did not work the way she wanted it to work. You know, it was so hard for her to have Bobbi Kristina, to conceive Bobbi Kristina. It took a lot. It took a long time. This represents work, long-term work, slow work. The Knight of Pentacles with slow results. So she just had difficulties, just difficulties around that. Queen of Swords, yeah, just harsh thinking, you know, harsh negative self-talk to herself. Knight of Cups, but I feel like this Knight of Cups here is the sweet words that Bobby would tell her. He would try to uplift her spiritually. See, Bobby wasn't as bad as people thought that he was. You know, he was just known for this bad boy. So it was so easy just to put a lot of blame on him. But he loved her, you know, and he tried to always encourage her and encourage her to be her true, authentic self. If anything, is what he influenced out of her. The Fool. So a lot of her, you know, her health issues, I feel like, came from depression and for her substance abuse. So we know sometimes that can affect our ability to conceive. We know that. So that's what that was, guys. She had a lot of issues, you know. She had a lot of she had a lot of mental issues. She was depressed a lot, and we already know the drinking and just, you know, the unconventional practices of being a celebrity, having to be up long hours of the day, and all those type of things really do take a toll on your health. So let's keep going. So you guys also wanted to know, did she have a fight with somebody before she passed away that night? Did she have a fight with someone in the industry? Spirit, was there conflict the night of her death? Was there conflict energy around her the night of her death? Was there fighting? And it's interesting because I gotta go back and watch some documentaries surrounding her the night of her death, because I believe that they said that she was alone and that she was acting fine that day. But hey, that's what they say, right? Was there conflict around her death? Was there conflict around her death, Spirit? Was there conflict surrounding Whitney Houston's death that night? Ooh. So we got the Judgment reversed. So yes, somebody definitely was judging her. This is just representing drinking and smoking at night. Four of Wands. So to me, that speaks on her foundation, her upbringing. Not necessarily her upbringing, but the household and the foundation for herself. I think, and you know, this is a marriage card. So I think she might have also been going through some depression at night. You know, just thinking about her life, just thinking about everything that was given to her, how she's been harshly judged by so many different people. Thinking about Bobby, you know, and her marriage, and just all those things. I feel like this is some of the energy that was around her, you know. And I also feel like with that Justice card, this is also speaking about, and it's reversed, so this is also talking about the truth. The truth of that night never really came out. So did she really receive true justice? You guys get what I'm saying? Did she really receive the justice that she deserved? So we got Eight of Pentacles. This is representing details and hard work. So I feel like, you know, somebody was just really paying attention to her. Relentlessly too. They were really paying attention to her. And I also feel like, you know, work was heavy on her mind, because this came up before, you know. So just work, the details of her life, the expectations that other people had on her, you know, it overwhelmed her that night. Eight of Wands, and this is reverse. So this also can represent a message coming through, but yet this can also represent being blocked in a certain situation, being stopped in some sort of situation. So I also feel like someone wanted to stop her work. These cards are speaking to me, guys. The energy is so strong. It's speaking to me in so many different ways. I feel like someone wanted to stop her work. They wanted to stop her legacy. Ten of Swords. So this is representing her demise. Knives in her all down her back. She was stabbed in the back. You know, this is representing someone truly defeated, pinned down, cannot move. And I feel like this is what this is talking about too, with this Eight of Wands, this blockage. Just someone put a stop to her. Here it goes. See how this Wheel of Fortune reverse keeps coming out? This is all I tell you guys. This is all about divine timing. And this is, since it's reversed, to me this is speaking, yeah, everything is fate. Everything is a divine order. But to me, when it's reversed, this represents a very, very misfortunate situation. Yeah, it was fate for it to happen, but it doesn't take away from the torture of the situation, from the pain of the situation. The Emperor. See how this keeps coming up too? So I also feel like this is a man too. A man had something to do with this as well that night. A man had something to do with this as well. She fell out with a guy that night. She fell out with someone that night too. And it makes me think about Ray J. So stick around, y'all, because I'm coming to that. And I'm going to pull some. Y'all already know I'm going to pull from my Words of Truth deck. Page of Wands, reverse. So I feel like, yeah, this is someone that was just, it was a man. And I feel like it was a younger man too. I feel like it was a younger man. It was someone younger than her. And I feel like they were a little bit jealous too. There was some jealousy here. There was some passions that were out of control. We already know the Wands are fiery, passionate energy. And I'm seeing all this red too. I'm seeing this red. And this Ankh is sticking out to me too. The Empress. So I feel like this also is representing just Whitney too as a mother. It's just she's an Empress. She's the Queen Whitney. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, all these things, you guys. I definitely feel like she did She did definitely have some conflict that night. And I feel like it was with a man. And maybe with this four, and also this Four of Wands is still speaking to me. So I also feel like, you know, this is somebody that she was definitely close to. And this was someone she had in her home. Knight of Swords. Just the deep, deep depression. Knight of Cups. Yeah, this is somebody she was romantically linked to. If not, this is somebody that she definitely was very intimate with. And she had an intimate, personal relationship with this person. Knight of Cups. So this person also is reversed. So they probably was just telling her a lot of bullshit. The Hermit. So this is also somebody that was just lurking on her, like I said. This was somebody that was lurking on her. So with Ray J being brought up, I want to pull some cards on Ray J. The nature of her relationship with Ray J. We had heard that, you know, it was some rumors. I don't know if it was ever even actually confirmed that her and Ray J was dating. But I definitely had read it. And I know that was a big topic around the time of her death. And I remember that he was actually even there at her funeral and he touched her casket. I remember I watched that and that was so sad. So Spirit, show us the nature of the relationship with her and Ray J. I think I'm going to pull some love cards on that too towards the end. What was the nature between her and Ray J? What was the intimate nature and connection of the relationship between Whitney Houston and Ray J? Whitney Houston and Ray J. Spirit, show me. What was the intimate connection between Ray J and Whitney Houston? Spirit, show us. What was the intimate connection, Spirit? Somebody say over it. Somebody was not satisfied in this situation and someone was not grateful. Page of Cups. So this is just representing him being younger than her to me. And it's reversed. So this also represents an immaturity in the situation. The Temperance. Someone also, to me, this represents balance too. And this is also representing Whitney coming through. You see, every time I see an angel, this is just confirmation to me that their spirit is around. But yeah, this is representing the immaturity between them. And someone was completely over this situation. And I feel like the person that was over it was Whitney. She was over this situation. Yeah, look at these pages. So this is just immature energy. Page of Pentacles reversed. So something it stopped working. Something in their relationships caused stagnation. And it stopped working for the both of them. Knight of Swords. I feel like Ray J was very disrespectful sometimes too with the way he spoke to her and his words. He just gives me immature energy. The Hierophant. Here go Hollywood coming through. Now it's Spirit is speaking, right? Y'all already know how I feel about the Hierophant when I see it. There go that Four of Wands. Now remember, we just asked Spirit, you know, was there any conflict or any fighting that night? And the Four of Wands came out. I said I felt like this was somebody close to her. So here go. This is the confirmation. Eight of Wands again reversed. So he tried to block and stop her from something. There was some heavy decisions that was made too on Ray J's part and on her part. And you see this white, y'all already know I be feeling like with the moon above that person, someone was blindsided, and I feel like that was Whitney. And this is all white. So this is sacrificial right here to me, ritualistic. And then we got that water. Now, didn't she pass in the tub, guys? The Star reversed. Reversed. Bam, there it go. This is Whitney. Her light was dimmed. He tried to stop her shine. Six of Wands reversed. So this represents when someone who should be celebrated and exalted, which is Whitney. She is to be celebrated. She is you know, she is honored by so many. This is reversed. So I feel like he messed with her confidence and he wanted to stop her shine. He wanted to make her look bad. Page of Wands. Look at this page, all these pages. So I feel like exactly like I said, it was a lot of immature energy between the two of them. Childish energy. He was, like I said, he didn't speak to her nice. King of Swords. There was some coldness that happened between them. High Priestess energy. Hidden knowledge. Hidden knowledge. Things happening in the dark. The Lovers. Here it go. Here it go. That's the confirmation, guys. Guarded. She felt like she had to protect herself against him at some point. Okay, guys, so the next question was, so we asked about Ray J. You guys want to know, did she ever experience any domestic violence? I believe she did. especially when you high on drugs. People just don't be in their right minds. Has she ever experienced domestic violence? Has she ever experienced domestic violence, Spirit? Show us from who too, if that was the case. Has she ever experienced? Absolutely. 3 of Swords. She has cried so many tears. And you know, when we see the 3 of Swords, to me, this definitely, outside of the 5 of Swords, represents violence. So this is definitely heartbreak and betrayal. 3 of Wands, manifestation. I feel like this was making her, this was her feeling like she manifested some of these things on herself. And this is her also knowing that there's better out there for her. The moon. And this is motherly energy too. We already know the moon is about divine feminine energy. I feel like the abuse was just also not physical. Domestic abuse just can come from someone just not paying attention to your wants and needs on purpose, not trying to understand you. So I feel like it started at the home. I feel like that her parents wanted her to do a lot of what they wanted her to do, if you get what I'm saying, like stay in the church and things like that. So let's keep going. The Magician. So we got some, to me, some manipulation energy around her. Queen of Wands. See, this is a jealous woman. This is her. I feel like this is her mom coming through. 5 of Pentacles. You know, just very misfortunate events. Strength. She says, remember how she's a Leo? So this is definitely her coming through saying, yes, yes, I was weak a lot in my life. 6 of Wands, 6 of Swords. So then I felt like I seen her wanting to move away from that. And that's what the 6 of Swords represents. Moving away from this painful situation. Ace of Swords up. And she was manipulated a lot. A lot of lies were told to her. People got her when they knew that her guards were down. And that's when she was high. Planning. 2 of Wands, planning. So yeah, a lot of her abuse, guys, I feel like it was more of mental abuse more than anything. The 4, a lot of just reckless ass behavior. So I feel like there was some physical domestic fights, but I feel like more than anything, guys, it was definitely mental more than anything. And I feel like it started at home. It started at home. You know, Whitney had a lot of pressure on her from a young child in the church. She really did. So let's keep going. So the next question you guys wanted to know is, did she experience any, no, we already asked that. Was her mother jealous of her? This is such an appropriate question to next, oh, what was this? The devil just fell. And it's so crazy that the devil would come out as sanctified as her mother is. Let's keep going. Was her mother jealous of her? Was her mother jealous of her? What's her mother? Oh my gosh. My gosh. Hold on, guys. My card is just dropping. So what fell? 4 of Swords. This is represent her just being restless. She didn't get a lot of sleep. She didn't. King of Cups. To me, this is representing Bobby. 10 of Cups. This is representing divorce. I think the divorce between the 2 of them. In the home. Let's see. The Sun, a lot of unhappiness. I feel like her mother was jealous of her relationship with Bobby. I feel like she just shot a lot of bad energy towards Whitney and Bobby. As just, you know, this is also about marriage and kids, you know, things like that. I feel like her mother was really jealous of her situation. Almost obsessed with her daughter, with making her do what she wanted to do. Now, Whitney respected her mother a lot. And, you know, growing up in that generation, you don't question your mother. Parents back then, in Sissy Houston's generation, they didn't receive a lot of psychological help. They didn't receive counseling. You know, they couldn't afford it. So a lot of times, those parents back from those generations, they had a lot of mental issues that were never addressed. And, you know, growing up in that generation as a child, they were taught to never question things, you know. So she always loved her mother, but her mother had some issues, and we see this big old red flag and a lot of depression in her mother. The Lovers. Didn't I just say this? She was jealous of her relationship with Bobby. King of Wands, that's Bobby. He was sexy back in the day. He was a very charismatic. We already know the King of Wands. Everybody want to look at the King of Wands. Think about y'all when don't this look like Bobby too? When Bobby Brown was back in his prime, he was sexy. He was rich. He could dance. He was, like I said, he was very, very charismatic. He was magnetic, his personality. You know what I mean? So Whitney, so Sissy, she just did not like Bobby. She was very jealous. Everything is fine. Reverse. So this is representing somebody not able to move on for some shit. And I'm sorry, I feel like that's Sissy, Houston. Yeah, Knight of Wands, jealousy, out of control, passion. See how this keep coming up? This Ten of Swords. So she definitely wants to hold her daughter down. She wants to pin her daughter down. There's that conflict. Caused a lot of conflict in Whitney's life, in Whitney's relationship, and even the relationship between Whitney and her mom. See how this Four keep on coming up? Yeah, Whitney, she really felt like she was alone on her spiritual journey. Whitney was very spiritual. When I see the Eight of Cups, to me, this is representing heartbreak and walking away. But this also represents a spiritual journey. You know, you're going off into the universe. You're charting unknown territories alone. So Whitney felt alone, too, in a lot. She felt like her mother didn't understand her, the Queen of Pentacles. But Whitney was the Queen of Pentacles, so she was responsible for taking care of her mother. And her mother made sure that she knew that. Six of Pentacles, trying to, you know, what I say about Six of Pentacles is especially reversed. It's a giving, charitable energy. But when it's reversed, sometimes people are giving for selfish reasons or taking from you for selfish reasons. I feel like Whitney took care of a lot of people that didn't deserve to be taken care of. And it put her in a financial state, too. An unfortunate financial state. I feel like she had a lot of problems with her money. A lot of people were taking from her. Unbeknownst to her, too. A lot of people were stealing from her. Even if they were stealing from her by way of manipulation, making her feel like you are obligated to take care of me. Nine of Wands. So her, you know, when it came to her mother, Whitney didn't have any boundaries, y'all. She didn't have any boundaries when it came to her mom. Now, I know that there was a lot of speculation around Pat Houston, which I believe is the sister-in-law of Whitney. Whitney's brother is married to her. And a lot of people said that she was not to be trusted. She was jealous. She wanted a lot of fame, especially after Whitney's death. You know, she was doing interviews. And, you know, a lot of people just wasn't feeling her energy. They didn't feel like it was genuine. They didn't feel like it was authentic. So I'm going to ask some questions around that. Spirit, show us energy around Pat Houston. Was she jealous of Whitney? Was she deceptive? Was she to be trusted? Show us the energy between Pat Houston and Whitney. Oh my gosh. Pat Houston and Whitney, Spirit. Where them fell out, y'all? Abundant. So this is Whitney. You know, she was a very abundant person. She was very prosperous. And I feel like this is Pat as well. She knew the perks that came from being Whitney Houston's, not only her sister-in-law, but her friend. So this is represent their connection. You know, this is also represent to me a marriage card, family, you know, and things like that. So this was her sister by marriage. Three of Cups. So they partied a lot. They partied a lot. They did have a lot of fun, especially in the beginning. They drank and everything together. And they were saying that about Pat, too. They were saying she wasn't that innocent. Here it is. Reverse. 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 So to me, this is just representing her hand in the demise of Whitney too. Eight of Swords. She kept Whitney. I feel like that she also kept Whitney in a state of feeling binded. This person just feels binded. She kept her dependent on her in ways. She made sure that she kept her mentally dependent on her. Knight of Swords. So they just represent someone that just can be very feisty with their words, be very manipulative with their words, very quick-witted with their words. Five of Cups, a lot of past regret. So Pat has hurt Whitney before. She has definitely hurt her in the past and betrayed her in the past. Here it goes, Nine of Swords. I said she kept her very mentally dependent on her, but she saw that Whitney was trying to break away from this state of the codependency on her and everybody else who she felt was not for her higher self. That's why this is reversed, because Whitney wanted to move away from that. Knight of Cups, reverse. This represents someone just whispering sweet nothings in your ear, but they know that's all it is, sweet nothings. They know how to make you feel good in a moment, giving you drinks and stuff that you shouldn't be partying and engaging in, you know, just to get you off your guard. Seven of Pentacles. So Whitney was just tired. This represents to me Whitney just tired. And I feel like she was just tired of having to watch her money. You know, the Pentacles is about money. The Tower, reverse. There it go. There we go. Pat was definitely not to be trusted. I said that I felt like, you know, she had a hand in the demise of Whitney. Maybe not that particular night, but by way of the things that she influenced in her life. And just not being truthful with her about things. 9 of Wands reversed. Whitney let her guards down, just like with her mother. She had her guards and her boundaries down a lot when it came to Pat Houston. This is her moving away from Pat Houston. Like I said, she tried to break away from this type of shit with her. She was tired of the burden, tired of her taking her money, tired of people, tired of the responsibility of the relationship with her. Page of Swords. So this just represents to me just Pat Houston being a sneaky ass bitch. I'm sorry, I just have to keep it real. Very, very sneaky. Very sneaky. I feel like she was sneaky with Bobby Christina too. 2 of Swords reversed. So it was a lot of hard decisions that Whitney had to make when it came to the relationship with Pat. She was very codependent on her too, on their relationship, and Pat knew that, and Pat took advantage of that. She knew that Whitney had a codependent personality and as well as an addictive personality. So the next question was she sacrificed? Was Whitney Houston sacrificed? Was Whitney Houston sacrificed, Spirit? Was she sacrificed? Was Whitney Houston sacrificed, Spirit? Show me. Was Whitney Houston sacrificed? 9 of Swords. Ooh, she went through so much. So mentally. We got a relationship, a partnership between somebody. People working together. The World. Reverse. So, you know, the World represents completions, the next level. You know, somebody definitely damned her life. Somebody definitely made sure that they worked together and made sure that she did not fulfill her assignment here on this earth. A lot of past regrets, sorrow, betrayal, boundaries being down. Knight of Swords. Tired. Conflict. Yep. See how this keep coming up, y'all? I know y'all see this. People around her. They go them 3s. Communication. 6 of Pentacles. Somebody gave us something. Queen of Cups. To me, this is just representing, this is also representing her loving and giving heart. Whoever gave her something, I feel like she really cared about that person and she trusted that person. It's so sad. And I feel like this is representing her spirituality too. 2 of Pentacles. There was a misalignment with the people that she was around. Absolutely. 10 of Swords. Yep. There it go. There it go. Her strength being down. She's a Leo. It's reversed. Death. Yep. This is what I was looking for. The Fool. Very, very reckless death. Lies. The home. The person that she was close to. Remember who 4 of Wands came up for? Remember? Ray J came up for him twice. 4 of Cups. Over it. She was tired. She was ready to go. She knew that she was a very celebrated person. Page of Pentacles is a young person. 6 of Swords, a painful situation, out of control passions, deception, lies, black magic. The Temperance reversed. This is her coming up as an angel. More black magic. The Star. There it goes. She was reversed. She was sacrificed, y'all. She was. So what I'm going to do now, guys, is I'm going to pull some cards from my love deck. Before then, I'm going to pull just a few cards from my Words of Truth, because I know I got a couple of more readings that I got to get out for y'all. Whitney Elizabeth Houston. Whitney Elizabeth Houston. Whitney Elizabeth Houston. Whitney Elizabeth Houston. Spirit, show me the energy between Whitney Houston, born August 9th, 1963, and Ray J. Show me the relationship. Show me the energy between the two of them. Whitney Houston, Whitney Houston, Whitney Houston, Ray J. Spirit, show us the energy between the two of them. Whitney Houston, Whitney Houston, Whitney Houston. Show me the energy, Spirit, between Whitney Houston and Ray J. Non-committal. There he go. Non-committal. The young, immature ass energy. Like I said. Family. Family. I feel like he played on her mind a lot too. You know, made her feel like, you know, yeah, we're going to have a family together. You know, we're going to be together. I'm going to give you what you feel like that you don't get from your family. Hence, her mother too. Not just the family that she created, but the family that she came from. A runner. A runner. So he was not committed to this. He was not committed to the family life. Intimacy. So we know this is confirming their relationship, which the Lovers card did too. Vacation. To me, this is her trying to get away from him. Sneaky. Sneaky. See? She couldn't trust him. He was sneaky. He was immature. Someone wants to talk. Emotional intelligence. His lack thereof. Offers. Remember I said someone gave her something? It's coming through. Dating. So we know they dated. Pride. That's that Leo. That's her coming through. Pride. Insecurities. He played off her insecurities so bad. Look how skinny this woman looks. Whitney was really little. Committed. Friendship. Whole. This is her spiritual journey. Marriage proposal. So yeah, he knew what to, like when that Knight of Cups came out, he knew how to whisper things into her ear to make her feel good in that moment. He knew what he was doing. Ooh, guys. Ooh. We definitely have to send some light to Whitney Houston, because she died in such a tragic event, guys. So before I wrap up this reading, I want to pull from my Words of Truth deck. You know, y'all already know this deck, how this deck is coming. Let's try to get some more answers before we wrap this up, guys. Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston. Whitney Elizabeth Houston. Born August 9th, 1963. Whitney Elizabeth Houston. Whitney Houston. Whitney Nippy Houston. Show us, Spirit. Show us what we need to see. Show us what we need to know. Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston, Whitney Houston, Whitney Houston. Show us, Spirit. Density. A forbearance. So this is somebody just trying to hold. To me, this represent just the intensity of that night. You know, the energy was so dense and so thick. Someone restrained her that night. Brilliance. This was her. She was a brilliant mind. Brilliant, beautiful person. Flaws and all. Integration. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Integration. I'm sorry. Integration. So this is just somebody, to me, inserting themselves into her space that night. Communion. This is sacrificial. That's sacred. Communion is sacred. It's spiritual. Come on, Spirit. What else do you want us to know? A generational pattern. So I'm feeling like, you know, like I said, the relationship between her mother, her upbringing, and everything, it took a toll on her for the rest of her life. She just wanted to be accepted. She wanted to be loved for who she was. Multi-dimensional. Come through, Spirit. Come through, Spirit. Hopelessness. Come on, man. She was so, didn't I say they tried to dim her light so many times, and ultimately they did. Breathing. She could not breathe. She was in that water. Breathing also represents life. Intentions. So what was the intentions that night? Spirit, show us. Sexuality. Now remember they were saying that she had she suffered from that lesbian relationship between her and her best friend. That's coming through. I said she had a lot of mental depression about a lot of things. Her mother didn't understand her. Express. How could she really express herself around a bunch of people who are dedicated to misunderstanding her? Integrity was a big thing. The morals, those Christian values that she was brought up in, prevented her from living and expressing the true self. Past. And I say a lot of this was childhood. A lot of this came from the childhood. Telepathic agreement. She was so spiritual, y'all. She was so spiritual. She was speaking to her spirits that night that happened to her. Spirit, didn't I say that? Didn't I say that? Come on, man. Inappropriate relationship. I feel like this is that lesbian relationship she had with her best friend. Nurturing. Who nurtures you the most? Your mother, right? Childhood. Come on, Spirit. Keep speaking. Aggression. I'm pull one more, then I'm gonna wrap this up, y'all. Overriding. A lot of people try to override her wants, her desires. A lot of people try to take away from her voice. Gratitude, meditation. She was so spiritual. Magic. There it go. There it go. You guys, we just got to send a lot of love and light to her energy, her spirit. I feel like she's not 100% rested because the truth about her and her life has yet to be revealed. My family, I love y'all so much. Definitely drop down in the comments. This is my first official Patreon video. I'm so grateful for y'all. I love y'all so much. Definitely make sure that you let me know in the comments too. Who up next, y'all? Who we gonna do next? So I love y'all so much. And I hope this reading has brought a little bit of clarity and peace to you guys. You know, who are true fans and true lovers of Whitney Houston. I'm sure she appreciates it. All right, guys. Later.